Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Fenton Forest 4X map with seasons with me, See What He So. This is day 7, day 8 I think it is, of late spring. It's late spring and we're making a start early. We're doing some seeding or planting. We're putting down some potatoes on big field 26 over here. Potatoes. We've got the Tri-6 over here. He's planting some sunflowers for us on field 23. Do need to just double check some of this, make sure it's all okay. I'm still waiting for this field of soybeans to go to failed. Lol. And as yet, I still haven't planted field 1 because I haven't figured out what I'm going to put on that yet. Also doesn't help that my seeder is a little bit broken at the moment, my air seeder. In the I'll pop out this person, don't block them. Also have some issues with some of these vehicles. And we'll park that one because I haven't been able to tab through my vehicles today after getting in them. So yeah, I've got a bit of an issue with the seeder over on the other Fenton 1050, in that it won't actually plant the crops that I want it to plant, which is weird. And I think it's a little bit of a bug with the mod, because if you look at the tanks say the tanks can plant everything. Right. Tanks can plant the lot. Okay. Fine then, we understand that. Tanks can plant every single crop in the base game. Then we look at the actual seeder and it can only plant half of them. Ha! So I think the guy who made the mods made a bit of a gaff there. I think he's dropped a bit of a clanger. Because we can't actually seed what I want to seed with this. I can't plant cotton with it, I can't plant corn with it. I can only do the wheats, barley, oats, canola, which I've already seeded and already got. So right now, this seeder's pretty redundant for me. What I need is for this guy over here doing the sunflowers, or these two guys doing the potatoes, to come over and seed field 1 for me. Now one of the things we are going to do today, believe it or not, because we've been running around for quite a while now, we're going to start getting some stuff made. We've got some lime, obviously we've got all the other buildings. I've added a new building, by the way. I don't know whether you noticed this in the last video or not. This is a bale shredder. Basically, you can bring bales over here, toss bales into here, and you can get loose material back out this side. So if you do bales, like, I mean, the real time that comes in very useful is if you do straw, obviously. And you want to give straw to your cows, your sheep, cows, your pigs, that sort of thing. Then you need loose straw, because bales don't go into the straw area on the animal pens. So you need loose straw for that, which means you have to shred the bales, and that's going to be a nice way of doing it. Because I also can put down some bale storage places on the map. I've also taken the option last night, off camera, while it was dark, to throw in some spotlights on the map, just to brighten up and light up the farm a little bit. when it gets to night time. So anyway, I'm going to hop into this truck. What we're going to do is we're going to take the canola to start with. Basically, we're going to move this stuff out of the starting silo, start making it into pig food. So basically, we're just going to be trucking backwards and forwards this short little distance. Smash the canola in there, sunflowers, corn, sugar beets, potato. I think there's even some pig food already in here, so might as well have that out of here. This is what you start with when you first get the map anyway, so we'll utilise this. Obviously we use the oats to make seeds for our seeders. Like I say, smash stuff in here. Make a bit of pig food. Not that we're probably going to have too many pigs to begin with on this particular map, but we will see. We may buy a couple. Get the soybeans. All this stuff adds up nicely. And with a bit of luck, hopefully our potato planters have finished planting their potatoes. And we'll be able to go keep an eye on them. Currently doing the headlands of the field. Looks like there's a little bit they've missed there and along here. A little bit of a gap. Not ideal. Okay, and now they need to be refilled. Right, that's going to be a problem then. For me. I currently have no way of filling them. We also don't have a great deal of corn. So we're not actually going to make as much pig food as I wanted to make. Okay, both of those need to be refilled. Right. How am I going to do this? What's the best way to refill seeders in the field? We're going to need a truck. We're going to need this thing. Wrong. What am I doing? is there. Right. We'll fill this up with seed. Make it a bit more stable by putting all the wheels on the ground. Tell you what, the camera on this particular vehicle, the third person camera, is very weird. Right, we'll drive this down to the two Varios. Trouble with doing potatoes, they run out of seed very quickly. Even with the two of them sharing the load. Try fill these up as best as I can. Oh, that moves that. That just makes that go up and down, right. So let's get these guys refilled. Hopefully they won't take off the second I start pouring seed into them. Hopefully they will wait for them to actually be full. Because the last thing I'm going to do is try chasing these seeders around the field. It's also a case of working out where one of them's over here. Which one's which? Right, I may have to stop the driver then temporarily. Put the hood back on. Of course. Perfect. Pit stop. Drive down here. The next guy. So you, sir, are going to need to stop. You're going to need to open up for me. Goes back a touch. course. Get out of his way. Hey presto. Seed tender for the win. Useful little tool, this. Right, we'll park him over here. Just in case these boys need to be refilled again. They shouldn't do, hopefully. He's about to start doing headland, so he'll nearly be finished. With a bit of luck. Back to our truck. Right, so we've just put soybeans in there. We now need to grab something else. No, we put corn in there, didn't we? So it'll be potatoes next. We start with a little bit of potatoes in the silo. Potatoes! Now hopefully if this mod works correctly, and it should do because I've made it and fiddled with it, it should actually use more potatoes and sugar beets in the pig food than it does things like the corn and stuff like that. Because obviously your yield when you do potatoes and sugar beets, you get tons and tons and tons of potatoes. And sugar beets, you get millions of litres off a field. They're not very expensive, so unfortunately they don't sell for a lot of money, so you don't make a lot of money selling them. So ideally you want to be using them, but again, the way the game works by default, a lot of the like the animals don't consume a great deal of sugar beets, potatoes and all that sort of stuff. So the pigs normally only consume 5%, don't they? Potatoes and sugar beets only count towards 5% of their production. It's the very last thing that they'll eat, and they'll only eat the sugar beets and potatoes if they've run out of all the other stuff in their pig pens. So I've kind of modified and adjusted everything to do with pigs and their food to make it a little bit easier, or should I say to make the pigs actually use more of the crops we get 550 billion litres of. You know, they're going to eat more potatoes and more sugar beets than they are the other stuff because it's plentiful. Right, I'm going to take the 15,000 litres of pig food out of the silo. And then I'll be back for... I'm going to put barley. I'm going to put the am I? I'll see which one I've got the most of, wheat or barley, and that can go into the... whichever one I've got the most of will go in here. The other one will be kept for chickens, which I am going to add. I'm going to be adding some chickens. I know they don't make a massive, massive amount of eggs. And I know they're a pain in the backside to feed. Right, we got the most wheat, so I'm going to bump the pig food up with wheat. That's what I'm going to do. Excellent stuff. Some tire marks in the ground already. Now the wheat goes in, this thing should start producing. And you should see that starting to tick up in a minute. When it gets up to... There we go. Do you know what we're going to do? Ooh. Drop the controller. We'll take a screenshot of that. That could be the screenshot for the episode. Pig food. Right. We need this fella to stop. Controller seems to no longer be responding. Wrong thing. This is what I could do. Cable. All those is from my headset. It's weird. Something very weird is going on. None of the buttons are working. Right, let's think about this. How do I do it? How do I do it? I think the game's having issues. There's some weird shit going on in the log. Can't get out of the vehicle. The flipping game's completely totaled. We've kind of hosed this a bit, I think. I'll let this guy finish, and then I may have to save, exit out, and restart the game, because it definitely seems like I've lost the ability to control the game within the game. I can do cosplay stuff. But yeah, that's a bit concerning when the old log file is doing that rubbish. I don't know which mod it is that causes this crap in the log. I have no idea. There's one mod that, for whatever reason, the mod author has decided that he really wants to check every single keybind that you have in game and check that every key is bound to whatever every key is bound to and stuff. And he has a script that does it, and it's just it wouldn't be so bad if it didn't publish it in the log. And it only published if there was a conflict detected. Because I can't get out of any of the vehicles now. I can't start them. I can tab. But that's about all I can do. Right, so he's reached his trigger endpoint. So, stop driver, thank you very much. Just waiting on Mr. Tri-6 here to finish then. can't even zoom in and out. If I've changed something. And save just in case something goes horribly wrong. Because I definitely can't jump out of the vehicles. Very weird. Can't zoom in and out. I don't have a lot of luck, do I, with this game at times? I wanted to basically go over those bits that the guys have missed. But alas, I can't. It won't let me. So I have to wait for Mr. Trisix to finish because he's only running a temporary course. He's not actually running a saved seeding course. So I need to wait for him to finish. Mr. Trisix also desperately needs a wash, by the looks of this. As does the planter itself. The planter itself's starting to get really mucky. Right, and next job, obviously, on the list, after we've got these fields seeded and we've advanced a day, will be to come down and fertilise them. Try and get them up to maximum fertiliser state. But I need to finish that field off with the potatoes because right now there's gaps in it and I don't want gaps. And then we need to sort out what we're putting on field 1. Which is probably going to be corn, if I can get a machine that can actually plant corn. I'm probably going to put sugar beets on 24 because it's a small field for this first year. Oh, hello, it's raining. So it's weird that some buttons are working and some keyboard buttons are not. How bizarre. How strange. But yeah, the this field over here is still the one that's kind of worrying me a little bit. Field 22. Because that's planted, but it still hasn't germinated. Whereas, like you see, these fields have. In fact, actually, they're already, some of the parts of the field are already growing. It's been that bad. We'll follow the guy around though. He's on his headland. He's on his last little bit. doing nice smooth turns. So he's got this field absolutely rocking. Now, one of the things we may do as well in the next episode of the series, and I'm going to say next episode because obviously this episode is going to end up getting cut quite short because I can't actually control and do anything because my controls have stopped working. We're going to have a look at maybe doing a bit of mowing. There's plenty of grass, wild grass, around that we can mow and get rid of. So we may have a look at getting some grass done and get some grass picked up. Ready. Again, we may look at adding sheep first year because sheep aren't going to be terribly difficult. Get some grass picked up, brought back. So you can see there's some little areas. Strange fertilising on this field. As I say, I got the fertilising completely wrong. I got out of sequence. So definitely once I harvest come autumn and we've done the harvest, I will be fertilising the fields prior to ploughing them. Definitely. And then we will fertilise after we've ploughed. We will cultivate to get the next stage registered, and then we'll seed, and then hopefully, as I say, we'll be at 3 stages. We may even find we don't need to cultivate, possibly, if we plant the right crops as part of the crop rotation thing. The rotate crop planner, we should probably get the bonus fertilisation anyway, but we'll check it. Nice big sunflower harvest on this field then. So I've gone with the expensive crops. Obviously we've got canola, soybeans, sunflowers. Get good yield of potatoes, but obviously the field is hopefully not too big that we're going to spend 2 years harvesting it. And then obviously sugar beet as well, just to keep the pigs fed for the year, because we will be adding the pigs. Guy's going to carry on, finish off his planting. I say it's incredibly weird that some buttons will work on the controller and some buttons won't. This game definitely craps the bed sometimes. It gets itself in a little bit of a muddle. But anyway. We've got more fields planted. We've made more progress today. We've got more planted. We've got stuff saved. We've got stuff fertilised. We've got some trees removed in the last video. We've got pig food being made. We're just gradually starting to get things together. Roll things together. Like I say, when summer gets here, that's when we'll start looking at adding animals. Because hopefully at that point we'll have... we won't have any other work to do on the fields unless there's weeding. We may look then at seeing contracts and seeing whether there's any, you know, we might get some offers to go fertilise some of the other farmers' fields during the summer, which could help us make a bit of money during the summer. Because normally fertilising contracts pay quite well, and armed with our fence, we should be able to churn a couple of those out fairly quickly, make good money. this guy has finished. So there we go. Well, he's nearly finished. He's forgot a bit. He's forgot a little bit. Anyway, I am finished because I can't do anything else now until I log out of the game and reload. So from me, see what he saw. This has been the Fenton Forest 4X map with seasons. I will see you all again very soon for another episode. For now, from me, it is goodbye.